And a good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Monday, August 26th. And kind of a boring day yesterday. Don't forget, we did our podcast Saturday night. Just over 2 hours. I think it's our shortest one of the season. Things are starting to wind down a little bit. And so, frankly, don't have as much to talk about. Which is okay. Some of us are suffering from burnout. And I am definitely one of them. As far as in the house, there's little news. I'm wondering now if Nick shouldn't have chosen a different target than Christy to put up. And here's the reason why. Well, first of all, it has come out over the course of the weekend that because Nick started, he told people he told Jackson and he told Tommy that he was the prankster. And then everybody else told everybody else. He actually told Holly as well, but by the time he told Holly already knew because Jackson had told her. And I think Tommy told Christy. I'm not even sure who all told who. Jessica was the last one to find out last night. So everyone knows. Jessica's surprised that he didn't put her up. Thinking about it, that may have actually been a better move because his logic that he tried to explain to Jackson was that, well, I could have put you up and I didn't. So there's loyalty. And people would have expected me to put up Jessica, but I didn't. Okay, but you told people. So now people know. So you might as well put up Jessica. Not to mention the fact that, guess what? Holly has pointed out to Jackson that Jessica's a threat to come after Jackson. So that might have actually been a potential person to get out. Jackson may have wanted to go after Jessica. As it is, Jackson doesn't seem like he won the power veto on Saturday, and it doesn't sound like he's going to use it. So then it will just come down to, can Nick save himself against Christy? And I don't think he's going to be able to. He's seen as, part of it's Christy building Nick up as such a great player. That's what she talks about, how he's such a good player. And so, even though Christy's the one who just managed to stay last week when nominated, she'll be staying again this week, it looks like. As far as anything else, let's see. Show was on last night. Guess who hasn't seen it? This guy. No, haven't watched it yet. And everyone's complaining about how horrible it was. I mean, the best part several people said to me, was them making fun of Christy's eating. Which I must admit, I've never taken much of a chance to witness. I've seen GIFs of it, or GIFs, depending on what you want to say. So I've seen images. I've seen plenty of pictures of her with her mouth open with food in her mouth. I've heard it described. I've read it described. I've heard it described. And I guess last night CBS decided to show it. So I don't know. It just sounds like it's not worth watching. So I haven't seen 2 episodes now because I've still never seen last week's veto episode. I never went back and watched it. As it turned out, my recording of last night's episode was bad on my over the air. I do have PlayStation View as well, so I can go back and watch it there. Plus, and now today it's on CBS Online, so I can watch it there as well if I want to deal with commercials. So there's lots of ways for me to catch it, but I don't know if I'm going to. What else to tell you? The zings. We talked about those last night. Saturday night. I've also done a couple long periscopes. And I did have an interesting dilemma that someone has proposed who came into my... Okay, it's very interesting that one person comes into Periscope, claims, to not have an agenda, and then asks me questions, and then later on the next day or later on that day, two different accounts both start to ask me about it too. I don't have that many people on Periscope, and people are taking the time to find me on Twitter and ask me questions about what I said. What it has to do with, and this is going to go off the standard stuff at this point, so I'm pretty much done talking about what's going on. Power Veto will be today. Jackson will not use it sounds like. And then Tommy and Christy are going to have to duke it out. Christy seems fairly secure, which means that maybe we'll have a complete flip around and Nick will end up staying. I'm just not sure. We'll know later this week, possibly. All right, so the other thing. So I'm doing a Periscope on Saturday because I went down to visit family, friends' family in southern Indiana, and spent the night Saturday night where I was doing my podcast in the van. And as I'm driving down there, someone pops into my Periscope and says, "Do you think Nick is gay?" Because I think Nick is gay, and I think he should admit it. This is what this person is saying. Because of the way Nick talks and acts around Tommy, this person says that they think Nick is gay and should admit it. And this is my thought process. All right, this could be someone totally out there trolling me just because people know that they can get me on a topic, and I'll just get obsessed with it or really go down a rabbit hole with it. Or B, it's someone who is gay themselves and is a little bit mad that if Nick is gay, that he's not out about it. That he's, kind of hiding it, but you can see it. You can tell he's gay, but he's not admitting it, and he should have to admit it since he's gay. I'm like, what does it matter? That's his, I don't even know. I don't care if Nick is straight or gay. First of all, he did have a relationship with Bella, but obviously gay people can do that. Or bisexual people can do that, or whatever. So, I don't know. But the fact that this person was asking me this is like, why are you asking me this? Why is this important to you? What is so important to you about whether he is or isn't? And so I was thinking, my thought was, this is someone who's gay, and they're kind of mad and frustrated that Nick isn't being out about it, because by not being out about it, he's one less person showing, that there are more gay people than folks realize, I guess. I'm not sure. This is always a dance that you have to do. I don't want to offend anybody, even in this discussion right here. And so I'm trying to do the dance right. I'm trying not to offend people. So if I do offend anyone, my apologies. But I'm also going to try to talk, logically about this stuff as best I can. So this person comes back with, I'm a black woman. I'm cool with this. And my initial knee-jerk reaction was, okay, how come you being and there's the question, this is the person just typing this. I don't know who they are or what they are, what color or, sex, or race they are. So what difference does it make? I said, okay, I'm a white guy. What are we supposed to do with that information? I don't know. That's is that a get out of jail free card that you can make this statement because you're a black woman? I don't get that. I just said it's rather awkward for you to pop into a public forum where we're having a general discussion about Big Brother and to throw this into the mix, because it just causes it disrupts the room. It's the same thing as the race stuff that comes up. It's like, I don't know. This is not what I'm not here to talk about. I'm not going to figure anything out, and I'm not sure. And, the answer is, I don't know if Nick is gay or straight, and I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter to me, and I don't think it matters in the game. So let's not, delve into this. Let's not turn this into a discussion group about whether Nick is straight or gay or whether he should or not be out. It just wasn't my cup of tea. And I just said, you may not want to walk into a big public room and have this discussion. The kind of discussions about, do you think so-and-so is gay or straight? What I was saying was, have those discussions with your close friends, and that's all great. But walking out into a public forum and discussing it. You're making it. You're kind of turning the focus of the agenda of the whole discussion to what you want to talk about, and I was just it's probably a bit annoyed, a bit like, oh, come on, and just wanted to move on. And I was also trying to tell the person, look, I'm not trying to not adjust your stuff, but you're kind of sidetracking the discussion. Now, look, by the way, do you notice it's Monday now? This was Saturday, and this person still has been talking about this, so they managed to derail the discussion anyways. I'm well aware of that. Person goes away, drops off, or whatever. It kind of faded back in the background, talked about other things. Saturday evening or Sunday morning, one of the two, I get a tweet on Twitter. Says that they felt this person, in theory a different person, although I wonder, says with a male name, says, that I was, kind of wrong to chide this person, to turn to what this person tried to spin it as is that I was shutting her down because her moral beliefs were different than mine, and these alternative lifestyles are being forced upon everybody. And it's like, that's not what she was talking about at all. First of all, she said she was perfectly fine whether if Nick was gay. She just thinks he should admit it. So there was no being, she wasn't pushing any moral differences or any, offense. She wasn't offended at all by that. She just felt that he should own up to it. But this person was coming across with this whole, this lifestyle is immoral. It shouldn't be forced upon us, and, alternative lifestyles. And I just replied with, as in being gay is not an alternative lifestyle. That's what I said. I was trying to say, no, don't try to, what's the term? I can't think of the term for, just don't try to push that off as, oh, they're just weird people, or they're odd people, they're not normal. The whole argument of, well, if you're not normal, you're abnormal, or if you're not in the norm, you're abnormal. So anybody who's not within the norm could be called abnormal. Yeah, that's technicalities, and that's the meaning of words, and we all know that when you say somebody's abnormal in common language, it is not a positive thing. It is viewed as a negative thing by most people. So I replied to that person that wasn't what it was about, but I said being gay is not an alternative lifestyle. I don't like that as a phrase, because it implies it has a negative connotation in my mind. And then another person jumped on, another quote person, who said, now that the topic's been broached, don't you think it's wrong for Nick to misportray his sexuality? If he is straight, is it right for him to flirt with a gay man? Is that right? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. They're both single adults. Now I'm going to jump ahead to one of my arguments that I didn't make initially, but I think is a fairly solid argument. Christy said, I will go in that house and flirt with men. I have no interest in men, but I will flirt with them to further my game. There's no difference to that and Nick. I'm a straight man, but I'll flirt with gay men to further my game, if that is indeed what Nick is doing. I don't have a problem with either of those. What I ended up saying to the whoever I was talking to was, I will, I have no problems with any of that going on. I would have had a problem if Cliff had started to flirt with, say, Nicole, and I'm just throwing out random names, but the key is, or Sam had started flirting with Nicole, or Sam had started flirting with Holly, or Sam had started flirting with Tommy even, perhaps. Only because both Sam and Cliff are married. They have taken an oath, a vow with a spouse. And part of that is, in theory, part of that is being monogamous, being, now, oh God, someone's going to come in and say, well, what if they have an open marriage? I don't know. I'd have to have the spouse come out and say, I don't care that Sam is hitting on these women. And I'm like, okay, well, the spouse doesn't care, then I don't care. It's just a matter of having those issues. So that's where I would have more of an issue. if someone who's married was doing this stuff. But Tommy isn't, Nick isn't, I don't care. And I don't know if this person's going to reply to that argument, but it just, and then I realized, like, looked at those two accounts that tweeted at me, and they've retweeted each other before, they've replied to others' tweets, they've done one of, it seems to me like it's very, very likely the same person. They have the same tastes. They have similar. If they're not the same person, they know each other. Even though one of the people did reply to me and say, "I don't know each other. We occasionally tweet each other, but I don't know that person." I'm thinking, yeah, no, I think you guys know each other. I really do. If they're not the same person. If it's not the same person who came into the chat room to start this whole darn thing, which sounds like a real big conspiracy thing, but you start to wonder when you see this level of coordination. So now I sound like I'm paranoid, and I'm not. Anyways, that was my Sunday afternoon evening, was debating this whole topic. So just to be clear, I don't know if Tommy is straight or gay or bi or whatever. I don't really care, and I have no problem whatsoever with Tommy, with Nick. What did I say? Tommy? Whatever. Nick is straight, gay, or bi, whatever. I don't know. Don't care. And I have no problem with any of the stuff that's been going on between Tommy and Nick. It just doesn't. I don't care. So I didn't care when Christy was kind of playing with Jack's head. Don't care. That's part of the game. That's what they do. That's what they've always done on Big Brother. So there you go. Felt good to get that out of my system. Oh, now somebody's going to end up debating me online about this again some more. But, oh, well, that's what happens. I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. I hope my Monday this week is better than my Monday last week. Sadly, this week tends to be the busier week. Things usually get crazier the second week of this whole run of things at my work. And those of you that know where I work, know what I do, might understand it. All right. Thanks again. I don't remember if anybody's written me an email. I've had a couple of emails. I don't know if I've responded to them. Now I feel dumb because I said I would respond to emails when I get them. I'll need to go check my mail. Do that later. For now, I'm at work and parking. You guys take care. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.